Okay folks, we're back. Right, sorry about this guys, I had a power cut there. My power bar tripped out, which is obviously fantastic. So I'm just trying to get back. Always a positive thing. We'll open up this again. I've just got a couple of things to do here that I need to do to tidy all this up. So if you don't mind, I need a second or two. And I've mucked this up as well, which is always awesome. Give me 1 second folks and I'll get this up and running for you. Okay. Copy that. Back in the live. Right, we're getting there. Okay, what are your PC specs? Says Daniel Otuyelu. My PC specs is it's quite old. It's i5 4690, something like that. Overclocked, and two 980 Ti's, and everything's water cooled. Hopefully that answers your question. So it's quite old, but it's quite it was stellar in its day, put it that way. You lost me for a minute, Casa, because my power strip tripped out. Okay. And I had to reset everything, which was fun, obviously. Right, so we're back at our behavior tree and we're checking out our animal, and this was the part where it sets to run away. Okay, so we need to basically steal the code from in here and basically put it in our zombie. Okay, but the first thing we need to do, because we actually tripped out there, we might have lost the code for our fire. So we're going to have to check that out. We didn't, which is good. Right, so we're going to save all for now, just to make sure we don't lose any more. Okay, so back to our animal. Now, this is the one that does the thing, right? But here's the difference, and this is how it works for the animals, okay? When it sets the running away, it sets the speed of these two, right? So if it's heading to a direction, right, and it hasn't been spooked, it walks at like a speed of 100, okay? If it does have a target and therefore it has been spooked, it walks at like, or it runs at 600, okay, which makes it jump along and run away fast, okay? So that's this little thing here, this little function, right? But this isn't the main part that makes it decide where it's going to go, right? This is the part here. It says has target, and if this is true, then we do this. So we get the player pawn, we get the actor, da 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 da. So this is the point we want, okay? This is the part we want. And that's coming from the controlled pawn, okay? So, to implement this, all we need to do actually, you know what? And yeah, that's okay, right? It's not getting a direction, so that's okay. Right. So, we are going to go into our parasite AI. So we're going to open that up, right? We're going to go parasite AI. And we're going to duplicate that. Right? And we're going to say move from fire. Okay? That's a good descriptive way of putting this. So basically we're going to do the same thing as what we did there, right? Except we're going to delete this, right? And we're going to paste that. Okay, now there is a couple of other things we need to do here. And it's going to be this thing here, right? But we're going to delete that. And what we're going to do is we're going to add fire, right? And that's going to be a blackboard key selector. Okay. And we're going to be getting, now I'll need to check if that is actually an actor or not. Right? But what we're going to see is that get the actor location, turn around, go in the other direction, okay? And then we're going to get our destination, and we're going to set this as a vector. Okay, and that value is going to go in there. That value is going to go in there. Always finish with your finish execute success. Now we're going to do one more thing here. Actually, are we? We don't need to. Right, the chances are here we're going to lose our reference to the fire anyway. Right, but we'll check it in a second, okay? Right, so what we'll do is we'll come in here. Now, we've got the fire, right? Now, we can either do this in two ways, right? We could add a key here, which I'm probably going to do. We'll just add a bool, right? And we'll say fire spotted, okay? And if we save that, we can go into our behavior tree, okay? And what we can do here is we can pop a selector in here, right, and this is going to go to a sequence because we're going to select our new position and move to it, right? And in our selector, right, we'll call it something. We'll say spotted fire. Right, now the point of this is that the fire is supposed to be a safe zone, okay? So therefore the monsters aren't going to come anywhere near a fire, okay? So basically, if they see a fire, they're going to run away from it, right, or walk away, right, in the opposite direction, basically, right, which will keep it as a safe area for the player, okay? Now, we'll see how this plays out in the wash, because there are a couple of alternatives to this, right, but for the moment, that's what we're doing. So, we're going to add a decorator, which is going to be a blackboard value, and it's obviously going to be our fire spotted is set, okay? And we've got this actually as a state. So we could do it like that, right? That'll make it easier, in fact. Right, so we'll do this kind of at the start. Right, so we'll do that. Now, here's the thing. If we go back to AIC here, right, we set the value of the fire, okay? And then set value of enum, okay, and this is where our enum kind of has to know what state our blueprint is in, which is fine. We'll do that in a second, right? This is e-parasite. So we could do it like this, right? And then just plug that in there. And then make that. Then all we need to do is we'll compile that for now. That's okay. And we're done with that. Right, we need to go into our this and fire spotted. Right, we're going to change this name so that we're right, so that we're referring to it in the same way every time, right? Because if we're doing fire spotted fire, it's going to get confusing, right? So fire spotted it is. Okay, so if we go back to our AIC, that's kind of handy because we've already got the fire in there. So we just say spotted. That goes in there. Save that. Okay. And the next thing we do is if we go back to our task, right, we are setting this vector, which is great. But after that, right, now what I have to do here actually, while we're doing this, is we need to find out what that fire is. It is an actor. That's fine. That's what we want. So we go back to here, right? And we can cast to BP fire. Actually, no, we don't. We don't do that at all. What am I talking about? Right, we don't do that. What we do is we add a variable and we call it the same thing, fire spotted, right? And what we do is we set this set to bool. Okay. And to be fair, we want to do this after we do that, so we'll change the order in the logic there. Right. So once we turn and we move away, right, we obviously don't want it to think that we've still got a fire spotted, right, because we're basically switching it off. Okay. So I'm going with this. So we're setting this backward value back to false. We're setting the vector to give us a new position to move to. and we're dealing with that, right? So back to behavior tree. So in our sequence, right, tasks move from fire. Right, now we've obviously made a mistake there, and that's because these two aren't to there. So you can see there we've got destination is going to be destination. Fire is going to be fire. Fire spotted is going to be fire spotted. Cubes, how long have you been working on this for? This is day 40. Okay. So once we've done that, we can simply do a move to. But we've got a problem, of course. Because at the end of this, we're going to have to set our state back to idle. Okay?